Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be solving this very important question, that is exchange seed, right? Exchange seeds. So in this video we are solving this in PySpark, but you can find the solution link for SQL, right? I have solved the same problem in SQL as well, right? You can find the link in the description section. Okay. So let's look at the input and the output, right? So here in the input, if you see, we have the student data, and in the output also we have the student data. But the only change is here the ID column is as it is. If you see in the input and the output, ID column is as it is, but the student data is changing. The student data is changing, and that too we just need to exchange these values. So let's have a look at the task that we need to solve here. Okay. So here if you read this, write a solution to swap the seat ID of every two consecutive students. So this word is very important. We need to swap only the consecutive students ID. If the number of student is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Okay, so this is the special case which we need to handle, that I will show you how we can handle this. Return the result table ordered by ID in the ascending order. Okay, so we need to return the table in the order, like ascending order of the student ID. Okay, ascending order of the student ID. Okay, so let's look at the input and output, then we will understand like what exactly we need to do. Okay, so let's see the input data and the output data to understand or make the algorithm, right? So if you see here this first record, here the ID of the first student is, like, the name of the student is Abbot, but if you see here the first record is Doris, and if you see the Doris ID here, it is 2. That is, the second row here is becoming the first row in the output. Similarly, if you see, the first row of input is becoming second row in the output. That is, Abbot here the ID is 1, but here if you see it is 2. Let's see the 3 and 4 also, right? Let's see the 3 and 4 also. Okay. Okay. So we saw, like, for ID 1 and 2, right? So this is getting exchanged, right? So 1 is becoming 2 and 2 record is becoming 1. Let's see the 3 and 4 also. So if you see in record 3, the name of the student is Emerson in case of like input, but in case of output it is green. That is the row number 4. Similarly, row number 4 it is green, but here in the output it is Emerson. That is, 3 and 4 is getting swapped. Similarly, here 1 and 2 is getting swapped from the input, right? But if you see this ID James, this is as it is. Like James, this is as it is. Why? Why? This is the special case. This is a special case that we need to handle. Okay, right? So because this is as it is, because there is a no ID, that is 6, which with which this can get swapped. That's why whenever there is an odd number of student, we need to keep the last ID as it is. Last ID as it is, right? As it is. So this is what here it is mentioned also. So if the number of student is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. I think this is very much clear, right? And let's derive one formula. Let's derive. So before deriving the formula, let me like see tell you the pattern. So if you see this odd, say this odd ID, that is 1, Abbott is getting placed to a even ID, right? Similarly, this Doris, that is ID 2, this is even, right? This is even, is getting placed to the odd ID, that is 1, right? This is odd. So what we can say, the pattern is odd is getting interchanged with even, and then even is getting interchanged with odd, right? So this is what the consecutive student means, right? So this is what consecutive student means. So this is the pattern, right? So odd is getting interchanged with even, and even is getting interchanged with odd. So can we say that this is like previous and next value? Can we say that this is a previous and a next value? Okay, right? This is the previous and next value, right? So what comes to our mind when there is a previous and next? When there is a previous and next, what comes to your mind? Can you write in the comment section? Okay. So the previous and next, whenever it's come, we deal with a lead and lag. We deal with lead and lag. So lead is nothing but next, and lag is nothing but previous, right? This is very simple. So we will generate these two columns, that is previous, or we can say that here next, or we can say that lead and lag column, right? We can generate the lead and lag column, that is previous, and we will populate this data and see how we can like derive one formula out of it, and we will solve the problem, right? So let's see that. Okay, so let's generate the lead first. Okay, so what is lead of Abbot? Lead of Abbot is Doris, so let's copy this here. What is lead of Doris? It's Emerson, right? So let's copy it here. Similarly, it's green for Emerson, and Jeames for green, right? And what is the lead for Jeames? It's null, right? There is nothing after Jeames. Similarly, let's write the lag also very quickly. So what is lag of Abbot? There is nothing, right? So it's null because there is no record before Abbot. Similarly, for Doris, it's Abbot, and for Emerson, it's Doris. Let me write for this one very quickly. Emerson and green for here. Okay. Now we have the previous and the next, right? Previous and the next. Okay, so let's derive the formula. As we were like before also mentioned, odd record depend on even, and then even record depend on odd, right? Let's see how the first record, this Doris, is getting populated. For let's see for two examples, then you can fill the rest also, right? Very quickly. So let's see how the Doris is getting derived. So if you see, this is the input, right? This is what we have derived, right? So if you see here, the first record, this is odd, this is odd, right? This is odd. This here it is Abbott, but if you see, it is Doris. So whenever there is a odd, we look for the even ID. So even is what? Even is next, and odd is previous, right? Odd is previous. So let's see. So for Abbott, this since this is odd, we will look for the next record. Next is nothing but lead, right? And this is lag. So let's write the lead. So lead is Doris. So that's why we printed over here Doris. Similarly, this is what? This is even, right? This is even. Here it is Doris. Doris, since it is even, so if you look at our formula, we need to look at the odd. Odd is nothing but previous. Previous is nothing but lag. So let's look at the lag of this. So lag is Abbott. So let it write. Let Abbott over here, right? So we wrote Abbott. Similarly, for 3 and 4, we can do odd, even, right? And if you see the last record, there is nothing. So here, like this is odd, right? So whenever there is odd, we should look for even. Even is nothing but next, and next is nothing but lead. So we will look in this form column, and we will get null. But here we are getting gems, that I will show you how we can populate gems in our coding section, in our coding section. So let's jump to the Databricks, right? And write the code for this. Okay. Okay. So here we are in the our Databricks console, right? So here we are like printing the Spark, right? And then here we are generating the data, right? Here we are generating the data, that is data which is there we saw in the example, right? Here we are writing the schema, and then we are creating the data frame over here. And here if you see, this is the uh, data frame, like Abbott, Doris, Emerson, Green, and Jeames. Okay, so let's import few things which we will be required for solving this. So pyspark from pyspark dot sql dot functions. Okay, import what? So we will need call, right? This is obviously, and we will need lag, lead. So as of now, I can think of these things. So let's import this, and then we will see. Okay, I remembered one more thing. So basically, we will have to create a window, right? So let's import the window function as well. So SQL import window, right? Window. Okay. So as of now, I can think of these functions. So as and when we will be required, we will import that. So if you see, the first step is find the lead or the next student. This is what we saw in our example also, right? We will have to first generate the lead and then lag, and then we will do the computation using the formula, right? So let's generate the lead. So let me write the name of the df as df lead and then df dot, and we need, as I have mentioned in our previous videos also, whenever we need to generate a new column, what we use a with column, right? With column, and let's give the name as next student, right? And we will write the lead of which column? Lead of student column, because id column is as it is, right, in the output, so we don't touch that column. So lead of that over, and let's create the window over here. So window dot order by which column? We need ascending order, right? So we can write column id, and now we are done with this. Let's print df lead dot so, right? Let me print this. Okay, let's wait. Okay, now we have the lead, right? So Abbot lead is Doris, and similarly Doris lead is Emerson, and so on and so forth. There is nothing after record 5, so it's null for Jeames, right? So now we have the lead. What is the next step? So next we need a lag, right? So let's generate the lag also. What we can do, we can simply copy these things, right, and just paste it here, and we will do few modification. So let's name the data frame as lead lag, and here we are changing the lead lead data frame, and here we can say that instead of next there should be previous, and instead of lead there should be lag, and here while printing this should be lead lag, right? And that's it, we are done with the lag also. So now you can see we have lag also. So if you see this one, we don't have anything before this, so we are printing null over here. Now we know this formula, right? So wherever there is a odd id, look for the lead, that is next student, and wherever there is a even id, look for the lag, that is previous student. This is what we saw here. Like for the 1 we look for 2, for 2 we look for 1, right? So let's write that code. So we can write here what should be the name of df. We can write anything, let's say df answer, because after this we will get our answer, right? So df lead lag dot, and we can write with column, right? We just need to generate one column, that is exchange seat, right? Exchange it. So this will be our output with the help of these two, like next student and the previous student columns. So let me write. So how we can write, like how we can identify which record is even, which record is odd. We can use the when otherwise statement, right? Similar how we have the case when. So let me write over here. So in SQL, we write case when statement, right? Case when statement. So in PySpark, we have when otherwise, when otherwise. So this statement we can use, right? So let me write the when otherwise class. So we can write when. Okay, wait. So we are importing when. So what we need to do? Like, since we are using when, we will have to import when, right? So let me write. So from PySpark dot SQL dot function import when. Okay, let me run this, and let's use the when over here. Call, and we are looking how we are deciding odd and even using the id column. So whenever the id divided by modulo 2 is not equal to 0, which means what? Whenever this is not equal to 0, which means it is a odd, and whenever it is odd, we need which column? Let me look here. So whenever it is odd, we need even is nothing but next is nothing but the lead column, right? So name of the lead column is next student, right? So let me grab this over here using call. So let's write over here call, that is next student, and let me print this. Let me print this df answer dot so. So before printing this, what we can do, we can write the otherwise also. So whenever it is not odd, So that is, it is even, right? So we can write otherwise we can, so we have handled the odd case over here. Now the next is even. So let's see the formula. Whenever there is even, we need odd. Odd is nothing but previous. Previous is nothing but lag. So we need lag column. So what is lag? Lag is nothing but previous student. So we can print over here previous student, right? And let's run it now. Okay, let's wait for answer. Okay, now you can see we have the required output, right? This exchange sheet. So if you see Abbot, we have Doris. For Doris, we have Abbot. So these two got exchanged. Similarly for Emerson and Green, if you see, for Emerson, we have Green. For Green, we have Emerson. Okay, now we have the proper solution for the first four record. What about the fifth record? That is James. So that is the special case that we need to handle. So let me clean the board and then we will discuss how we can uh, solve that case. Okay, so according to our formula, for odd, we look for the even, that is lead, or that is next student. Next student. For the even, what we look for odd record, odd is nothing but lag, and lag is nothing but previous student, right? Previous. So let's see. So we have already solved this four record. We are looking for the fifth record. So for this, we are getting null, but we want gems over here, right? So what we can do, if you see, there is nothing, like there is no record as such as 6, right? So, and we are getting null. So what we can do, we can we need to have like the last record as it is, right? And we are getting null. So what we can do, we can like use coalias. We can use coalias. Why? What coalias does, it return the first not null value, right? It return the first not null value. And so we can write coalias of this next student. Since this is odd, we will look for the even. Even is nothing but lead, and we will write this column, right? So we can write coalias of call, which call lead column, right? Lead. And if this is null, then we need student column, right? We need the student column, and we can write like this, call of student, and we can generate the required output. Let us write this coalias over here in the code also. So since we are using coalias, so let's import the coalias over here, right? And so what we can do, we can write the coalias of which we can write over here, coalias of next student. If this is the null, then we need student column, right? So we can write student, and let me close the bracket properly. So there, okay. So now I think we have the required output. Let me print this. Okay, coalias is not defined. I think I wrote here but did not run. So let me run this and again run this. Okay. Okay, now you can see the last record is not null. We are getting the required output. Okay. So now we have for each ID, we have the corresponding seat exchange, like, right? So in the final output, what we can do, we can just select our required output. So let me do that. We only bother about this ID column and the student exchange seat column, right? So we can write df answer dot select. We need ID column, and then we need seat exchange column. So let me copy this, and let me write so, right? Let me print this. Okay, now we have the required output, right? And we have successfully exchanged the seats, right? So yes, if you like this content, please do like, subscribe, and share the channel. And if you're new to this channel, you can definitely check out our DSA playlist, SQL playlist, right? And let's meet in the next question. Until then, bye.